Live from psych. Live from the studio. I'm Jimmy Selesky.
I'm Eric Glazer.
And
we just drove 30 hours to get to the studio today.
I walked here.
Yeah, it took them about 90 minutes.
90 minutes. I'm still befuddled by it. So 90 miles to drive 30 hours for 90 miles, you would have to be driving at 3 miles per hour, which I believe we're going right now, sitting here. I think if we sat here.
If I, move my chair a little bit in, that's me going 30 miles an hour.
Maybe he's factoring in like every pit stop or something like that. But you shouldn't even be taking a pit stop.
30 hours to drive 90 miles.
I don't even think 90 miles warrants a pit stop.
No.
I mean,
unless there's like a big backup or like, and also how far is he going again?
90 miles.
St. Louis to Chicago?
Chicago to St. Louis to Chicago.
So wait, did he drive 45 miles one way and realize, oh wait, she was back there?
Yeah, this...
I gotta go back.
Yeah.
And then he got to St. Louis again, and he's like, oh, the bitch is in Chicago now.
Yeah, and she's like, Kanye, I'm finishing this Popeyes. All the Popeyes is finished by the time we got there. Yeah, dude, because you drove to 6 different cities. For
Not
30
even
hours.
6 different cities, just the same 2 cities back to back.
6 times.
Yeah.
For 30 hours. Oh, man.
That's a weird tour.
Yeah, I don't even consider anything... Like, do you consider 30-minute drive a drive?
That's like right on the verge of being far.
Yeah. I guess because I use...
Anything over like 40 is like, all right, that's far away.
That's how I charge for music gigs. Like for music gigs, I'm like, all right, if it's under 30 miles one way, I'm not going to charge you for travel.
Yeah.
But that's also because when I worked at Columbia Cheesecake Factory, living in Towson, that was a 30-minute drive every day to and from. That's like a standard commute, dude. Especially like depending on where you live. Like people in New York City, they're probably just fucking driving 30 minutes. They're not even driving.
Yeah,
they're fucking taking
like a
trains
train,
for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. That's a whole different song, dude.
On the ferry.
Oh, man. I showed you this before we started. We talked about it a little bit over the weekend. But Fishtails, I stopped in a Seasons today because I got our logo, which I got to be honest, this is not exactly what I planned. I wanted to do like a bronze bucket and I wanted like a car sticker logo. And the girl that I've been talking to recently was like, you should go on Etsy because they make that kind of stuff. And I was like, I don't trust those fucking hippies on Etsy. I want a fucking corporation, big billion-dollar corporation to make my fake $0 tournament sign. And so I went to carstickers.com.
Oh, only the best.
Only the best. It's like, this isn't for a car, but okay. And I learned so much about graphic design. I learned where the vector is this week. That was huge for me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? You can just make something into a vector and make it any size ever? Why didn't I know that?
Well, it depends.
Regardless.
Okay, yeah.
I made this into a vector.
Okay, cool.
Wasn't good enough the first time. They sent it back.
Wait, let me see it again.
It's got like spinach and broccoli juice on it now.
Okay.
That's Mem Day Madness.
That's sick, though. Hell yeah, dude. That looks official.
Yeah, I thought they were going to like cut it out for me. And also it took me like 15 minutes to realize like if this was even a sticker. I just thought they sent me a piece of like vinyl.
Well, I assume like...
The film does come off.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
A sticker.
Like, it looks like it is cut out, or no? I guess it's not.
It's not. You got to cut it out yourself.
Okay.
But
sure?
And it also came kind of scratched a little bit. But I was like, you know what? I don't feel like this is so not that important.
It's fine.
But it's becoming increasingly more important as we've learned in the past couple of weeks. Because when I stopped in the Seasons, I was like, yeah, I'm grabbing. I asked Pete. I was like, Pete, you got like one of those bar buckets I could just buy from you? He was like, how many? I was like, 1 or 2, because I also need one because I use them for my tips at gigs. I hang one off my mic stand, and then we were packing up at High Tops, and I said, Joe, did we remember everything? Because they locked the doors. And he was like, yeah, man, I think we got everything. no bucket.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Quit harshing my vibe, dude. It's like, all right, dude. Now I don't have a fucking bucket. And you can't go into a bar and ask them. It's like saying, "Hey, do you have my Bud Light?" Like that's all they have is buckets.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, "No, dude, this is our bucket." First of all, I'm pretty sure they gave me that bucket 6 months ago. So if anything, they just got it back.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, you've made enough
They
money.
probably got it back and are like, wait, where did this ancient relic come from? We got to throw this out.
We got to get rid of it.
We got new buckets.
So I went into Seasons. I was like, I could use a bucket for the Ocean City Bronze bucket, but I could also use one for tips. But I didn't press it too much.
Yeah.
Pete just tossed me this bucket, which is a good bucket.
It's a good bucket.
It's good. I love these ones. There's like 3 kinds you can get. You can get the Miller Lite one with the Raven, or you can get the Corona one. That's just Corona.
No, it'd be crazy.
Or the Bud Light.
It'd be way too hard. But like, if you kept some of that shit on it.
That would be, oh, geez. Is this going to fit?
Yeah, it looks like it'll fit. Maybe. Or just do it like, have that on one side and the podcast logo on the other, maybe? I don't know.
No, we can't do that because I want everybody. They're only going to situate it one way.
True.
So I need them to see that logo. You know what we could do since it's already not cut? We could just like space them closer together, or maybe just remove the word champion.
Or
do we need to have the word champion?
I don't know. I'd say maybe. Here, let me see it. I bet if you could do like, if you cut it here and had this all the way on the bottom. Yeah. And then maybe put the LFTS maybe slightly over this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll figure it out. I didn't bother measuring. I was like,
well, you didn't even have a bucket.
I don't know how big buckets are. How do you even Google that? How big
it's
is
not on Google.
Is it a bucket? Is it a pail?
Which kind of bucket? Are you talking about the standard bar bucket?
Yeah,
or a sand bucket?
I don't know what the proper even terminology for that is. I keep on saying bar bucket. Now that I don't have my own, every time I go to a bar, I ask some random busboy. I'm like, dude, could you please do me a favor and find me a bar bucket? And I swear to God, every time I play a gig, they bring me something different. I'm like, the ones that like, they put like beers in and like it's a metal thing. It has like a handle. One guy walked up with like a fucking, like it looked like the crisper drawer you get out of a refrigerator. It's like, dude, how could you possibly thought this is what I wanted?
Yeah, how did you end up with this?
Where'd you go for this, dude? This looks like you got it out of my fridge. I could have done this, dude.
There's like the condensation building up on it from being out in like the warm air now.
Yeah, it's like, this smells like asparagus, dude. Get this out of here. It's going to be smelling for weeks now.
Yeah, I've seen you get like pitchers or like, yeah, you get everything.
They all look hacky unless you have a bucket. There's only two legal.
A pitcher is weird because it's see-through. You don't want people to see how many tips you're getting.
Exactly. You want every person to walk up and be like, "Oh, this guy isn't
bucket's
getting enough
deep,
tips."
So it's like, even if you get a good amount of tips, like the bucket's never gonna really look full unless people like try to make it look full.
Yeah, and then in which case I make it look less full because I want people to think we're not making any money. Like if somebody throws me like a bunch of money, I'm like, all right, we're storing this.
Yeah.
So the next person will, I can't believe you guys aren't getting tips. I'm like, I know. I can't
Weaponizing
believe
guilt. I'm trying to gaslight my fans over here.
Actually, no, I actually don't do that. But it would be funny if I did.
That'd be a good problem to have.
I know. I've never really. I rarely have had
overflowing tip bucket.
There's really only two.
You just gotta start getting smaller buckets, dude. If
Yeah.
you want to fill that dream.
I hate a small bucket, dude. There's nothing worse than a small bucket. Like sometimes people literally just give me like a bar glass. I'm like, dude,
damn.
Do you think I suck that much?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Somebody's gonna give me like a quarter?
Yeah. People are gonna be winging dimes at me all night trying to get it in the glass.
There's only two legal, in my opinion, there's only two acceptable forms of tip holders, and that is the bucket or the open guitar case.
Yeah.
That is another classic standard.
That's like the street performer version, though.
Yeah, it looks kind of tacky at paid gigs, but it also, like, depending on where you do it, it kind of has a nice vibe to it. Like, I would never do it at like a private event. I don't ask for I don't put out a bucket at a private event because that's kind of like insulting.
You're getting paid to do shit.
Yeah, but at a bar, it's like I'm getting paid to do shit, but also it's like,
But also, that's part of the deal.
yeah, it's like I get to,
you're not getting paid as much as a private event.
yeah, and I get to keep this bucket.
Exactly.
It's a great deal.
To paint this bucket bronze.
So, I guess that's our next step. We have to paint this Miller Lite bucket bronze. I think you might be hood dreaming a little bit by trying to maintain some of the architecture that's already there. I think that might be a little bit out of our pay
Might
grade.
be, yeah. I was thinking maybe just like put like tape over it and cut out the
Yeah.
tape stent. That'd be too much work.
Yeah.
though.
Well, I also got them a bracket too. See, here's
Okay,
the thing. I wasn't originally going to get them a bracket. I was just going to get them the bucket because I'm used to people not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
And so when Fishtails has been contacting us repeatedly,
Hounding us.
but in a great way.
No, in a great way.
In a great way,
No,
but
no,
like
no, not in a bad way.
they are so happy to have won. And I gotta say, when I discussed this earlier, actually a true Cinderella story because Secrets did share that shit as well.
Yeah.
And Secrets has like twice as many followers at least.
Yeah.
And like they're far more known. Fishtails is kind of like the underdog in that situation. They were the number 2 seed. But like the fact that they pulled that out, it was great for the city of Ocean City.
Oh yeah.
But even better for us as a podcast,
Exactly.
which is always the main point of these tournaments.
we got so many new followers off that.
so many. We're at a solid 10.1K now. I can post links in the fucking
A
story
lot
again.
of them hate us. But
It's all right, dude. Who gives a fuck? So the bartender hit us up and was like, dude, can you guys, like, when are you presenting? And I was like, oh, damn, okay. I guess I should order this shit from Vistaprint or whatever. So I got them a big bracket because I don't want to show up with just a shitty bucket.
yeah.
And be like, hey, we drove all the way from Baltimore and to give you this
Here you
bucket.
go. This was taking up space in my apartment. Here you go.
Yeah. I didn't bother measuring the logo, and I got this bucket for free from Seasons Pizza. And we figured, hey, why not give it to you to advertise that you won this fake tournament? But, I mean, look, it just goes along with the classic saying, anything's real that is made real. This is real now. And when we go down there and bring the PA system and fucking, ladies and gentlemen, presenting, something like that, whatever the fuck we do, I'll put a bunch of reverb on it. It sounds sick.
Hell yeah.
We gotta have like a fucking hype ass song queued up as soon as we say, give it up for your Ocean City Mem Day Madness 2021 champions, Fish Tail. Probably not that song. You want a lighter?
Maybe that song, bro.
Maybe
that
that's
song.
maybe that song.
Yeah, that was sick. I saw you when you hit me up, like telling me how enthused everyone was over there about winning. I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, it puts fire under our ass because I mean, like I said, I wasn't gonna get in that bracket. Now I got him a fucking big ass bracket, premium gloss. Vistaprint is the best website on the internet. Let me just say that for anybody getting anything printed or like any type of like business cards, posters, pictures, they're the fucking best. I have never had issues. In fact, the one time I had issues was when I got my second round of business cards, my world famous sophomore business cards. And they did the gloss wrong. And so I called them and I said, hey, I know this is going to sound stupid, but last time you guys gave me this, you did it a certain way that was awesome. And this time you guys gave me this and it's not the same. And they were like, all right, we'll send you more. And then they came more, also still wrong. And so I called them up again. I was like, all right, now I have 1,000 wrong business cards. And they were like, oh yeah, just keep those. We'll do it right this time. I was like, sweet. 2 days later, got the right ones. Now I have 1,500 business cards, 33% of which are correct, but I can use all of them.
Yeah, it just depends on how important the person is.
Yeah.
That's getting it.
Yeah, I have like my bullshit patch. I'm like, you don't get a fucking gloss.
You don't
dude.
deserve.
You get the matte finish, dude. Yeah. I don't see this relationship going anywhere. You're clearly drunk. But yeah, dude. And then, you know, I literally clicked confirm order on the poster for the bracket yesterday. It's already in the mail. Now, they probably do that because they use USPS, which is the worst thing ever. And so the estimated delivery date is still June 25th, even though I paid for like priority. Well, whatever,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, then, you know, those other times you got those business cards, USPS, like, delivered them to the wrong people. every
Oh
time.
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That too.
That wasn't on Vistaprint. Who you guys should sponsor us, by the way.
Dude, Vistaprint should sponsor us. Also, completely forgot about that. The
What?
fact that they
You're giving
delivered them to
free
the wrong spot.
advertising? Or no?
No,
Okay,
that they delivered.
part, yeah.
I completely forgot about it. That was such a saga.
Yeah, that was like a whole ordeal.
Yeah, that was
Because
like
one of your neighbors was like holding hostage like a bunch of your business cards.
Yeah.
When you finally got the good ones, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And you would think somebody would have called me, emailed me, hit me up on Instagram, SoundCloud, maybe even a SoundCloud DM would have been warranted. But no, that guy's still sitting around. Maybe that's where some of these random business propositions I get are from. Like I tell you, every now and then I'll get like an email from
That
like
guy just uses your business card.
yeah. Hey, dude, I spoke to you about the car detailing. Oh man. Whatever, dude. I'm excited for July 4th weekend. I'm also excited that Scott has finally confirmed. Not in the Instagram chat though. That's
Just to you.
group chat etiquette. I think that Scott needs to learn. Because a lot of times Joe and John will do this too, where they'll text me something that pertains to the group personally, and then I have to then retext their text to the group chat and be like, oh, by the way, John says this. And then John also gets that. And he's probably like, I know. I said that. And I'm like, I know, but like, you should have texted that to the group, dude. Like, obviously, Scott should have fucking told the group. Because now I got to hit up the group. And I feel like I'm the annoying one in the group. I don't want to be the annoying one in the group, dude. Like, he should have spared me of that, dude. I feel like the, like, every trip has, like, I call them the mom or the girlfriend. I think girlfriend's a better way because girlfriends are really about like planning trips and stuff like that. Like, and whenever I would go on a trip with my ex, she was always like, and then we're doing this. And then on this night, we're doing that. I'm like, okay, whatever. Look, when I go on a trip, here's how much I plan. I say, okay, we're getting there. We're going to get a place to stay. I didn't even used to plan on a place to stay. Scott and I went to Los Angeles with no place to stay. Our planning of the trip was we're going to buy a ticket for this day to Los Angeles and then buy a ticket back on this day. And we'll figure everything else once we're there. It's fucking LA. It's not like they're not going to have places to stay. Not that we use them, but
Yeah, you guys like slept on the side of a road.
Yeah.
A homeless guy came up to snug one night.
I wouldn't do that now. But still, like even with Ocean City, if you're going down to Ocean City with just yourself, like I used to do a lot when I was playing on the boardwalk, or with one other person, you can get a room the day of. I feel like there's this pervasive myth in Maryland culture that says like, oh, dude, if you want to get a hotel in Ocean City, you better fucking book now. And it's like January.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude. Go down there the day of, go to the beach, leave the beach, drink on the beach, leave the beach, walk into a hotel, shirtless in your bathing suit, dragging a boogie board in a beach chair, and say, hey, I need a room. You're good. You really are good.
I did get a room one night though. Me and Elizabeth went down like for a couple of days one time, and like before we started driving down, I looked on like this app Hotel Tonight, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. There's a couple options. I'll just book it when I get down there.
That sounds like a promising app.
So like we get down there, we're like hanging out, chilling, to go to the beach. And then we like get dinner, and I'm like looking at that app again, and there are no fucking rooms on it. And then I'm like, all right, let's just fucking drive around a little bit. Da 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 da. And then finally, everything's no vacancy, no vacancy, no vacancy. Finally, drive past the fucking, where did we used to stay?
The Islander.
The Islander. Pull up to the Islander. They're like, oh yeah, we have one room. It's the penthouse. And I'm like, fuck. All right, how much is it? They're like $400. I'm like, fuck. And I didn't want to like drive anymore. I was like, fuck it, I'll eat this charge. And then like in the morning, we looked at the Hotel Tonight, and it worked. Like the rest of the time we were staying there, but like, fuck that, dude.
Oh,
the
dude.
penthouse room, dude. It was so bad.
I would
It was
imagine.
like a waterproof mattress. It was like, this isn't luxury.
It's like, oh, this room is special because the TV works.
Yeah. This gets the Food Network in this room.
That sucks, dude. Nothing worse than like, I don't even know how they justify.
I don't even know if it was that much, but it was like outrageous for me at that time. I was like still working at the movie theater part time
Dude,
and
$400 is outrageous for me, probably for the rest of my life, for staying at a hotel for one night. I would
Depends
imagine
on the hotel, I guess.
if I was on like an important trip, like my honeymoon, I would drop big bucks in a hotel. But if I'm just on vacation, I mean, they talk about how like standards evolve as you get older, and by they, I mean we have talked about this in the past. They being us in the past, our third person versions of ourselves. But like, okay, when we were kids, we'd go down to Ocean City and just get the cheapest fucking room and stay there with like 6 people sleeping on the floor and shit like that.
Yeah.
3 people to a bed, whatever, sleeping bags, the whole nine. Somebody's sleeping in the fucking bathroom half the
Yeah,
time.
someone's like sleeping on your amp.
Yeah. And like, okay, I wouldn't do that. But also, I don't need, like, a Holiday Inn is fine. Like, I don't need any of the other shit. I really don't spend any time at the hotel when I'm on a vacation. I try not to. The more time you spend at a hotel on a vacation, I feel like is directly proportionate to how shitty your vacation was. If you're there the whole time, you know? Unless your hotel is like all-inclusive pool bar, like that would be sick. And that's a level I would like to get to. When we can just go to, but I wouldn't do that in Ocean City.
No, never.
Like, yo, let's get OC all-inclusive.
All you can eat shrimp, baby.
They sell Frisbees at the hotel, dude. It's included. We never need to leave. High school kids will come into our hotel and harass us. We don't even have to go to the boardwalk now. Which, by the way, did you see that video of the kids in Ocean City on the boardwalk?
Oh yeah, I think so. They kept saying the kid was like vaping or something.
Yes. That
Is
was
vaping on the boardwalk illegal, I guess?
Yeah, it is.
What?
It's so dumb, dude.
What?
It's so dumb, dude. And like, here's what I was talking to Zach about, my friend Lord Leisure, is that they do that for a reason. They make random shit illegal for a reason. And the reason is so they have an excuse to kick people off the boardwalk for whatever. The more shit you make illegal, the more excuses you can make to not let somebody on the boardwalk.
Yeah,
and
it's like bullshit dress code shit.
Exactly.
For restaurants.
I can't think of any fathomable like justification for why you can't hit a fucking vape on the boardwalk.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Unless the real reason is we don't just want a bunch of high school kids sitting on the bench in one place vaping because we're trying to make this like a nice resort-ish. They refer to Ocean City as a resort town. They're like, we don't want like a group of 16 kids just fucking chilling on one bench, occupying it and vaping.
Yeah.
Which I also understand. But that's why you have loitering laws. You should have just caught him for loitering, dude. I didn't even know what loitering was until like a year ago. And I was like, oh, standing around? That's all we did.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all high school kids do.
And also, it's the boardwalk. What are you supposed to do?
Walk. It's not
You
the board
can't
sit.
stop?
No sitting. No stopping. No vaping. Not the board vape, the boardwalk. You fucking walk. You look at this guy playing the guitar. You say, oh, that's good. You keep fucking going. You get to the end.
You get
go
ice
home.
cream.
You get ice
fucking
cream.
leave.
And then you leave. That's the boardwalk story. If you want to get on rides,
You can't.
can't.
You gotta walk.
You gotta walk. No, that was ridiculous. OC cops are notoriously fucking dickheads. There's no doubt about it. That was way overboard. Now, again, I didn't see the context leading up to it, but I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that the way they handled that situation was unreal.
Yeah, it was
for
like
what was
three dudes on one guy,
Yeah.
right?
They're fucking, look, they enforce so much random bullshit in Ocean City. More power to them for enforcing the liquor laws. Like, they are the hardest carders ever when it comes to trying to get to a bar. Like, they will card you. They will card your grandmother.
I
And
still
like,
can't believe that you and Mehdi lost your fakes that you got like in the mail within a week and like at the same 7-Eleven.
yeah. Looking back, I can believe it because they were such shitty fakes and we took them to the most but I also still thought like 7-Eleven's not going to give a fuck.
Well, they
Yeah.
didn't beginning. Like when we first got down there that weekend or those like couple days we went, like Mehdi got shit from that 7-Eleven and they didn't card him. And then
Really?
he went back, they carded him, took it away, and then you came down later, tried to hit that on the way in, instantly lost it.
And then,
And I think luckily Henry was down there and we got him to get us shit.
or Mihai. I feel like Mihai was like 28 at the time.
Probably.
Mihai was like old. It's like, dude, I have a real ID. We're all 19 except me. No, but like I've also, last when I was there with your brother last year, we got stopped for jaywalking. Dude, Lucas got his ass beat by police for jaywalking in Delaware.
What?
Like he got straight up pummeled.
What the fuck?
Which is okay. This is an important thing to note about, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions over, like, a lot of times people are like, all this happened because of a traffic stop, or all this happens. It's like, what happens is if you get stopped by a cop and he says, yo, you were jaywalking, you can't just say, fuck off, I don't give a shit, and walk away. Because then you don't have, like, a city anymore. Like, the cops have to be able to, like, if there's a rule, they have to be able to say, like, now, you're a dick if you decide to enforce it to that point. But also, it's like, if you get pulled over or something like that and you don't put your blinker on, it's like, you can't just say, I don't give a fuck. And then the cop goes, oh, you don't care? Okay, then I'll get back in my car then. It's like, obviously, the shit's going to escalate if you fight it. So Lucas is jaywalking and does just the opposite of what we just discussed.
Yeah.
He's like, who gives a fuck, dude? There's not any cars. He's fucking wasted leaving the bar in like Fenwick or something. They fucking beat his ass, dude.
Jesus
Or actually,
Christ.
you know what? It might have been Canada. Doesn't matter, dude. Doesn't
so
matter.
Fucking weird.
It's weird. I mean, he got
Oh my
his
God.
and they took him to the station, and he's like sitting in jail with like
I'm
black
like, 'cause
eye.
if it was like Fenwick, if he's like drunk crossing like Ocean Highway, it's like, hey kid, you could have got killed. Let's fucking teach you a lesson by almost killing you. I don't get that mentality.
I don't understand it either. But and then I got pulled over the most recent time, which was a couple weeks later, just driving down Coast Highway with my mom in the passenger seat, driving my mom's van, my dad's van, my brother in the back seat, my mom in the passenger seat, just a little family vacation. 6 p.m., broad daylight, driving to dinner down Coastal Highway, pulled over for going like 10 over the speed limit, which every other car, like it was like there were cars all over the road. I was just going the pace of every other car.
Yeah.
They just pick one and stop you and give you a ticket, dude. And they make it such quick business. Like he just walks up, he's like, yeah, you were going this fast and this fast in a posted thing. And I was like, where was it posted? He's like, right over there. All right, give me your license, registration. I was like, damn. Like, they don't even talk to you. Like, because they know. That's when you know a cop is bullshitting you. That's when you know that they know that they're being a dick. Because it's like, dude, you didn't have to pull me over for this, dude. It's Labor Day. It's like the week after Labor Day. So, like, it's the end of your season. You probably have a quota you have to meet. And so you're trying to just fill in all the traffic tickets for the season. Because, once us tourists stop coming in, you're going to be dealing with a bunch of fucking locals for the next 9 months.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The moral of the story is Ocean City cops are kind of fucking dicks. I've had fair amount of run-ins with them, like just like from playing on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
You need to I can't be able to hear you from over here. Where's that written, dude? Show me the law where it says you shouldn't be able to hear me at Dumsers. Like, I don't know. I just remember him like standing on the boardwalk and being like, and meanwhile, there's like a whole crowd of people watching. It's like, I can understand. You have to be able to use judgment to some degree, like obviously if it's laws are meant for interpretation. Like if it's a guy that sucks, dude, can't play on the boardwalk. It's illegal. You don't have a permit. You suck. I'm not going to say it's because you suck, but you're not adding to the ambiance. Like, you suck, and you're basically asking people for money in the form of music, shitty music. But like me, when I pull up my fucking gas generator, put it on the boardwalk, and had to turn up my speakers to overcome that sound, to play to the people of Ocean City.
Yeah.
If they're enjoying it, let it happen, dude. Let it happen. And they don't see things that way, dude. I saw things that way because I was drinking a Jimmy Selesky out of a McDonald's cup. And I thought everything I was saying made sense.
Generator fumes.
Yeah.
I was seeing things that way.
Whatever, dude. Shouts out to those kids. I think they had like an exclusive interview on Fox 45, like live interview with the kids from Ocean City, the Ocean City Five,
Boardwalk kids,
the Boardwalk kids. So one thing's for sure, we're definitely not vaping when we go down there, dude.
No, of course
unless
not.
you want to leave in a stretcher.
Just big cigars on the boardwalk.
No, I got
sure
stopped for
that's
smoking a cigar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't beat me up. But I was like on acid smoking a cigar.
Oh my God.
Sir, acid's fine. No cigars.
Damn.
I was walking barefoot, bathing suit, no shirt, nothing. Wallet in my
Just
hand.
a cigar.
Just a cigar and a
Wallet
bathing
in
suit.
one hand, cigar in the other.
Yeah.
Only
Walking
a
down.
bathing suit to my name.
And I'm like in my own fucking dimension, just walking down like behind Lucas and Dom. Just like smoke.
Do they have cigars too?
Nah.
Okay.
And the cop is like, "Sir," and I'm like, "Da da 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 da. Take a look at my girlfriend," and I just keep walking. Whole other dimension, dude. That song was playing, and he's like, "Sir, sir, sir," and I'm like, "Oh, what?" And I'm in sunglasses, thankfully, so he can't see my eyes look like fucking Poliwag. And he's like, you can't do that. And I'm like, what? He's like, you can't smoke a cigar. I'm like, oh shit, dude, I didn't even know. My cigar was like falling apart. I was really just smoking a rolling paper, like an unrolled rolling paper. Like the guts of the cigar was just leaking on the boardwalk. I don't even think it was lit. I think I was just sucking on it. It's like, what exactly
It
can
might
I?
have just been normal, but you're on acid.
It looked like I just got done smoking one of those like cartoon exploding cigars, like the aftermath of that,
Yeah.
and I just kept smoking it. Like somebody pranked me, and I was like, "Still good though."
You have to like light each little peel.
So he told me I couldn't do that, and I was like, "Oh," I hit him with the Dave Chappelle. I said, "I'm sorry, officer. I didn't know I couldn't do that." And then I don't know if he got
kept
the-
doing it.
Just kept walking.
Take a look at my girlfriend.
So yeah, dude. Great fond memories of Ocean City. How can you beat it?
Yeah,
can
I
you
remember
beat it?
when I saw the video that we were talking about. I remembered the time where like we were drunk, like singing like show tunes down the boardwalk or some shit.
Yes.
And a cop stopped us, and we're like, I was like, damn, what if he just beat us all up right as we were singing like
Earth Angel.
exactly getting beat up to Earth Angel.
Yeah. And the thing is, that's not illegal. Like, I remember when we were doing that, I remember the kids that walked by, I was like, "Oh, you know, officer, you know what they on." And I was like, dude, literally, we're not high. We might have
Yeah.
been high. Were we high?
I think we were just drunk or something.
We were drunk. But we also might have been old enough to be drunk. I feel like we could have been 21.
Probably.
It's legal to be drunk. Right?
I think so.
I think it's legal to be
And
drunk.
it wasn't like crazy late.
I mean, there was nobody else around. It was kind of late. And we were also like up by like 20th, like we were up at like 40th Street, which is like the
Yeah,
end
we
of the
might have
boardwalk.
been being loud.
We might have been off the boardwalk. We might have just been walking through a dune.
Caroling.
But
Going
like,
door to door.
but here's the thing. Here is the thing. We have been practicing that all night.
We were doing a mobile talent show.
And
We weren't loitering.
we were
walking.
We were walking. If we would have been standing in one place singing Earth Angel, it
Yeah.
could have been a different story. We got our asses
We
handed.
might have gotten caught.
Yeah.
But we kept it moving.
kept it moving. Keep it
We
moving.
were always a step ahead.
Keep it moving. Love that song. Keep it moving. Going back to my previous point, which is if you suck, the law hits you harder. we didn't suck. We've been practicing that song. We had our harmonies. I'll go, Earth Angel. And you guys go, Earth Angel. Will you be mine? And we were fucking killing it. And you know the cops were like, this has got to be some type of violation. But also, it's a violation. Because you boys are killing it. So he didn't say shit. We were good.
You'll have to run that back.
Absolutely, dude. We gotta learn. Maybe we'll perform that at Fishtails as a callback
To us.
to us. This presentation always has to be about us, dude.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Do they have like a projector? Should we make like a slideshow?
Of what?
I don't know. Oh, congrats.
What would our slides be?
I don't know. Us hanging out.
We'll just broadcast an episode
Yeah.
on the projector.
On a slideshow.
This episode. I mean, I guess I gotta talk. I gotta call them. I gotta call them and see what they're thinking, dude.
We don't have to do a slideshow.
I mean, why not? You know, all I have planned so far is to prop up some speakers, do a sick ass announcement, introduce ourselves. Boom, boom, boom. We both have mics. Maybe you do a tight 30.
No.
I'll fucking play Brown Eyed Girl on guitar to bring him in. No, I'm imagining it being like a 20-second thing.
Yeah.
Like, yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Jimmy Selesky. I'm Eric Glazer. And we are coordinated live from the studio. You can follow us at LFTS Podcast, blah, 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 blah. You may not be aware that we ran a blah blah something cool. It's gonna be cool, you know.
Be chill.
Might not talk. I'm not gonna use this voice. I might use like this voice.
Yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may or may not. I'm gonna use Ivan's voice at the beginning of the last podcast, dude. That's the move. Which, by the way, next time he's on the fucking podcast, he's wearing fucking headphones, dude. He's wearing fucking headphones, dude. That man was off the mic the whole fucking time, dude. I was listening back in my car just like, I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him. I'm going to fucking call him. I was like, don't call him.
Don't call him.
But yeah. It's actually, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's cool.
Hell yeah. Fucking,
Any happenings this week for you, dude?
I've been going out a little bit more. Went to my cousin from San Diego is in town with his fiance, I believe.
Nice.
And they were like, hey, like, do you guys want to go to brunch at this place in Hamilton? We've been trying to go every time we've been in Baltimore, but it's always booked.
Hamilton.
It's like kind of over by Morgan State. It's like
What's it called?
Harford Road. Maggie's Farm.
Okay, I've actually heard of it. Never been there, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. Apparently it's hard to get into, dude.
Really?
I don't fucking know.
Damn.
I don't know. I went there for the first time and I sat down and ate. So it wasn't
Got
too
right
hard.
in.
Got right in. This is LFTS podcast.
Yeah.
Coming
know
in
Maggie.
live, Maggie Swarm.
Yeah. So how was it? Was it worth the fucking hype?
It was pretty good, but so I got like chicken and waffles, very good. But so it came with like syrup, candied pecans, and then like the chicken and waffles. But it also on the menu had sausage gravy.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the waiter, I was like, hey, I don't really need the sausage gravy.
It's
And
a lot.
It's a lot. Like, I don't want that. And he's like, oh, it's really good with the sausage gravy. Like, if you don't get the sausage gravy, it's going to be like all dry.
Yeah. If you don't get salt, I'm not giving it to you. Get something else.
And I was like, no, I don't want the sausage gravy. Like, it's fine. The syrup will keep it moist.
That's what you thought.
No, it came out. Syrup was moist as hell. It was great. Candied pecans were great. The waffle was good. The chicken was good. It was really good, but they still tried to give me the sausage gravy on the side.
On the side, yeah.
I'm like, dude, I didn't want this. I don't like when waiters are like, I know better than you.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Waiters are trained to, in cheesecake, they called it tour guiding.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it was like somebody orders something that you know is about to not be good. Just fucking be like, yo, just like politely pull them in another direction, but you give them one push. Like, for instance, I talked about this a billion times, but like we would always, for the crab cakes, I would always do this because the crab cakes were not Maryland style. They were Louisiana style. They were fried with like peppers in them. It's fucking bullshit. And I would always be like, yo, they're not Maryland crab cakes, just letting you know. And 9 times out of 10, they'd be like, oh, well, fuck that. I'll get something else. You know what I mean? So I feel like I know what he was trying to do, but also it's like, once you give the one pushback, you're like, dude, I love a dry brunch.
It wasn't even dry.
It's like, dude, syrup is also wet. First of
Yeah.
all, I don't even know how syrup mixes with gravy. I feel like it's one or the other.
I know, right?
It's like, give me one or the other. You're getting pecans and sausage gravy? That's a weird combo there.
Yeah.
It's like they just put everything in there, dude.
Yeah. I wasn't having it, but luckily they didn't give it to me. And
Luckily.
it was great.
But they gave it to you on the side?
On the side. They tried to give me like a little hint again, and I'm like, bitch, I'm not eating this.
Did you taste it?
No.
Out of spite.
Out of
You're like,
spite.
I will not even look at this.
Yeah,
Get this
I gave
away.
it to someone else.
I bet it was probably good. That's probably like their signature thing, dude.
It might be, but
You know?
I was not having that.
So would like they come in from San Diego? Would you say that like they got like the taste of Baltimore? Or you think they're gonna go back home and be like, yo, food in Baltimore is all right?
Oh, no, I think they really liked it. But also, I mean, they've been here before. Like,
Okay.
they know what's up.
Yeah.
Um,
Brunch is a big thing around here. I think it's a big thing everywhere, but I noticed like as I've gotten older, I've become really into brunch. I love brunch.
I feel like I wake up too late on the weekends to get into brunch.
Yeah.
But I did go to, what was it? Rocket to Venus.
Yeah.
And Liz went there for brunch the other week.
Is that the
Pretty good.
where is that? In Hamden?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like by my old apartment on Power Street.
There's
It's right by like the lights on 34th.
I went to Blue Moon Cafe recently, and it was like okay. You know, I feel like there's a lot of places that just have a lot of look. No disrespect to Blue Moon Cafe, it was fine, but it wasn't like, oh, dude. You know, it was like a long ass wait, and
I feel like that's like Miss Shirley's too.
yeah, Iron Rooster's kind of the same way. It's like a lot of hype, and then you go there, it's like, okay, this tastes like every other fucking like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just go to the Point usually, Point's house, and walk in. Really, I judge the quality of a brunch place by what kind of bottomless drink specials they do.
Yeah,
you
that's
can-
the most important
Yeah,
part.
if you can give me enough mimosas, I'll even eat the sausage gravy, dude. Whatever you want me to do, dude. Bottomless sausage gravy, rack it up. So you guys just hung out for brunch time? You didn't,
Just brunch time because they like literally picked up. So like my cousin came in like maybe Wednesday night or something or Thursday, and he hung out with my brother for a little bit. They picked up his fiance from the airport like right before brunch.
Mm-hmm.
They did brunch, and then they're getting like a rental car to go down to like North Carolina or some shit to see other family down there.
Mm-hmm. I was meaning to tell you about this.
Ooh.
This is I was playing at the Watershed in Fed Hill, and I finish up my set, and now they have like acoustic music in the corner, and they provide like a bunch of house gear. So they have like the mixer. Now the mixer that they provide happens to be the exact mixer I already use, so it was awesome. I already know how to dial it in. I'm like, fuck yeah. And then they also provided this monitor speaker, like a floor monitor. Bless you.
Thank you.
Like the thing that like aims up at you so you can hear what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that also happens to be almost exactly like the one I use. It's a slightly cheaper model, but it's
No shade.
no shade. It's pretty much what I use. And so I always bring in mine anyway, just because it gets louder, and theirs doesn't get quite loud enough. And so I show up. The first time I used theirs for like the first half, and then I brought in mine because I managed to get a spot right outside, which is like an amazing feat in Fed Hill. Like the fact that I was able to park,
Like unheard of.
it's unreal. Every other time I play in Fed Hill, I'm like blocks away, like multiple blocks away. And so this most recent time I show up, it's not there. So I'm like, okay, no skin off my back. I was bringing mine in anyway. So I bring in mine, right? Set it up. I'm playing, play the whole gig. Great gig, fun time. After my set, after the live acoustic, they bring in a DJ who starts at 10. So this most recent time, I was parked pretty far away, as usual. So I like wrap up my stuff, stick it in like a corner, and then I walk to my car. Come back, the DJ has my speaker and my cords out and has it set up for his thing. Misunderstanding, right?
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah.
Who cares, you know? So I go up and I'm like, now this is a $500 speaker, mind you. And I go up and I'm like, hey, dude, I think that's mine. And he was like, nah, dude, this is the house speaker. And I was like, oh, no. I know what you're talking about because like they had a speaker here last time, but actually I came in today, it wasn't here. And it's like kind of like this one, but it's like a slightly cheaper model. I brought in mine and that's what I was using. So that's actually mine. He's like, nah, dude, I'm telling you, this is the house speaker. And I'm like, all right, how do I was like, dude, I'm not, like, I just got done playing here. I play here like multiple times a month. I'm not trying to steal a speaker.
Yeah.
Like, either you think I'm so dumb that I'm going to, like, I could understand if, like, I just grabbed the speaker and walked out and nobody saw me. But, like, I'm going to get in a full-on conversation with you about how this speaker that clearly isn't mine is actually mine, and then I'm going to leave, and then no one's going to know. No one's going to know that that speaker's gone now.
Yeah.
They're just not going to put two pieces together. Like, they're not going to ask, like, hey, what happened to our $500 speaker? And the DJ's going to go, oh, well, I don't know. Couldn't have been that guy that just told me it was his and left with it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, why? What would be my motivation for this? He wasn't budging, dude. I mean, he literally, like, lifted up the speaker. He's, like, putting a flashlight on the back, like, sliding across the ground. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? So, like, the manager's there, and I was like, hey, man, I think the DJ thinks I'm lying, but that's definitely my speaker. And he's like, oh, yeah, I think ours is in the closet. So, like, I go up and I tell the DJ, I'm like, I think the other one's in the closet. He's like, I don't know, man. Dude, like, so finally he, like, goes to the bar to get a drink, and I just fucking took it and left.
Yeah, good.
But I'm thinking, like, if I'm in his shoes, I would have pushed back one time. Like, if I'm coming into a gig and I know there's supposed to be a monitor speaker there, and the guy before me goes, oh, that's mine, I would say one time, I'd be like, oh, isn't this the house? I thought this was the house speaker, right? Don't they have a house speaker? And he's like, oh, no, dude, actually, it wasn't here this time. I brought in mine. It happens to be, like, the same kind pretty much, but, like, that's mine. I'd be like, oh, damn, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, and that would be that.
That'd be that. Dude, this guy, I mean, just incorrigible. And, like, first of all, why do you need a monitor speaker? You're a DJ.
Yeah, you have headphones.
You have headphones. You're not playing this shit. You need to make sure that when you press play on fucking Lady Gaga, that it sounds like that they recorded it properly. Like, it's already recorded. You just press play, put one headphone on like this, put the other one like this, and fucking do this, and you're DJing, baby. Like, why do you need a fucking speaker aimed at yourself?
Yeah.
Even this I feel like a DJ right now.
That's how you do it.
It really,
You also have them in the back. You got to have it like that.
yeah. I forgot you were a professional DJ. Yeah, you do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Twist some knobs, deny some requests. Dude. I mean, I try to not have my animosity towards DJs because I do, after seeing some good DJs, totally respect it as an art in and of itself.
Yeah. And then also after your whole wedding DJ fiasco.
Yeah.
I feel like you gained some respect for DJs.
Yes, gain some respect. But in that moment, I felt disrespected because it was just uncalled for that you would blatantly, like, worst case scenario, I am stealing it. And then they go, hey, did that guy just walk out with our speaker? And you go, yeah, he told me it was his. And they're like, it's not his. And then they call me up.
He gave me this Matt business card.
Seemed legit. I don't know, dude. I was just like, I was pissed off the whole drive home. I was like, this is unheard of, dude. And only a DJ would do that. And so going back to my whole DJ thing, I respect DJs, but I can't help but notice that only a DJ would do that. Only a DJ would act like that, dude. I could not imagine another fellow musician, a brother in arms, telling me I'm a liar. You calling me a liar? He was calling me a liar, dude.
It's
you know
also weird because it's like you see me have all this other gear set up. You grabbed this from the other gear. Like, and then I came to ask you about it. You're like, what? No, this was already here.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it was, those are my chords too.
Yeah.
Like you went through my shit to get this over here.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the house guitar too, right?
Yeah. Like,
and that's the house bucket. It is a house bucket, but that's everything.
I have to get that back, but
yeah, dude, that really grinded my gears. But I mean, it was over in a second. I was just thinking on the way. I called up. I told Dom, ranted to Dom about it at the house. I was like, can you believe this shit, dude? And like,
they didn't even let me keep the bucket.
another bucket gone. And then I wake up to an email, same type of situation with Watershed, thinking, because I always get stressed about that shit because I'm like, even if it's a misunderstanding, a lot of times telephone game happens. One person tells another person what happens, and by the time it gets to you, you're fired. You know, somebody tells one bartender, oh yeah, that guy, blah, blah, yeah, I'm pretty sure he just stole it. And then he tells the fucking thing, yeah, this guy that played here on Friday night totally just jacked our speaker. And then I get an email like, I need you to return our speaker and never playing here again.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm like,
can you guys check the closet?
yeah, has anyone checked the closet? So I wake up to an email on Monday morning that had actually been sent out on Sunday night saying live music at Watershed has been suspended indefinitely, which I thought was my fault.
Oh, shit.
We don't have a speaker anymore. We have not bothered checking the closet, but live music is canceled. Only DJs now. I don't think they have DJs anymore. Actually, I don't know. They might still have DJs.
Yeah, but they don't have the reference speaker.
They don't have so they don't know what they're playing. They might play a song and it's just not the song they thought, and they would never
white noise.
They would never know.
They'd never know.
They got to have those monitors, those DJs. And turns out that the reason it was suspended was because of some. And again, I've already been. I don't know all the details. All I know is that I received an email that I read Monday morning that said live music at Watershed has been suspended due to zoning or permitting issues. To which I replied to the booking girl, who she is not the one who made the decision.
Yeah.
Even Watershed didn't make the decision. It was the city that made the decision. I said, can you please explain to me what code live acoustic music at Watershed violates that isn't violated by every other bar in Fed Hill that's blasting music constantly? Literally, you walk up and down Cross Street and Charles Street, and every bar is just blowing out their speakers with the loudest possible fucking shit, the most
But it's not live.
But it's not live. It's not live.
That's where that's where the line is.
Yeah. So now I play there about 3 times a month. Some people have weekly residencies where they play there 4 times a month. They're very good paying gigs. So a person who has a residency there is losing more than $1,000 a month.
Damn.
Let's just put it that way. So I basically woke up to an email saying, you're making $1,000 less this month. So obviously I have to reply, and I still, she didn't know all the details. Nobody really knows all the details, but it just irked me so much to think, okay, maybe there is some type of weird zoning law that says that because they're
where is it in Fells?
So do you know where the Cross Street Market is? It's kind of very similar. It's in Fed Hill.
Oh, Fed Hill.
So you know, but it's very similar because Fells Point has the Broadway Market, which is in the middle of the street, and then it's the same thing in Fed Hill. They have the Cross Street Market, so it's in the middle of the street. So Watershed and Shop Tank are very similar in that they were built out of the market there. So they're actually technically in the middle of the street.
Huh.
And so traffic goes each way around them, one way, the other way.
Yeah.
So
So
I
it's
was
not like in a residential neighborhood.
no,
it's
not
like
at all.
Straight up
It's
in the middle of downtown.
It's literally right in the middle of all the other bars. Like fucking Mother's, the most poppin' packed bar, is right next door. Banditos is across the street.
Yeah.
Fucking all the ones, you know. All,
What was that for?
I had to do my cross, so I didn't say anything out of pocket. You know how I feel about Banditos.
I know. I was trying to.
By the way,
some flames.
catch me at Banditos on Wednesday, August 18th. I'll be there 2 days
Very
before I
good.
turn 29. My last hurrah as a musician in my 28 years will be at Banditos, where across the street, live music is legal. At Watershed, so I guess what I was getting at is I could see that maybe there's some type of weird law, like some kind of like antiquated technicality that was like written in the city charter from like 200 years ago
Yeah,
that
no
says
busking and
yeah.
Bed Hill.
And they go, well, so technically you're in the middle of the street and not like on the side of the street, so you can't have live music here. You can play music, but you can't have a guy playing guitar and singing that music.
He's gonna get hit by a car.
Yeah, this is
You guys are
dangerous.
in the middle of the street. You guys are gonna get hit by a car from inside this building. We're doing this for you.
Yeah, we're helping you.
You guys can seat customers and give them food and blast music, but the moment some guy with a guitar is up there, it's, public hazard.
Public hazard.
We're gonna get some rubbernecking. We're gonna be a whole lot of issues.
So that's the
So
extent.
it's not even like a COVID thing. It's just like
Nothing
a
to
weird
do with
city bullshit.
Nothing to do with COVID. Absolutely not. It's entirely to do with some type of weird zoning thing. Like,
That's so weird.
technically, we've discussed in the past, this studio is in a business zone. The house is in a residential zone. The zoning line runs diagonally through this driveway here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a business. That's a home. I like it that way.
Yeah.
Which allows us to do all kinds of businessly things like record podcasts and steal Wi-Fi. Just classic
Exactly.
business stuff.
All above board stuff.
So I understand that these weird kind of things exist. But here's what bugs me. In order to find that code violation, somebody had to look. I doubt that the average code inspector that is in charge of the entire city just happens to know that, actually the music zone starts exactly, like somebody had to like look at it, see there was music and go, not if I can help it. Let me check the books.
I think it was the DJ, dude.
Dude,
The
what
DJ is thriving.
if it was? Holy
He
shit.
can still DJ. That's not live music.
It's not live music. Oh my God. That would be an amazing turn of events.
If it was just that petty.
Yeah. So we found the speaker, by the way, but fuck you. It was in the closet. Somebody had to go out of their way
Yeah, like what the fuck?
to call them on this. And again, as we discussed earlier, Ocean City can't vape on the boardwalk. Stupid law. But it's there for a reason. And the reason is so that you can target people. And you can selectively enforce that law. I guarantee you if they saw in Ocean City a middle-aged woman walking down the boardwalk, hitting her little e-pen or whatever, they probably would not have said anything. They said something to those kids because they fit a certain age group. That is, the trouble age group, high school kids. And they selectively enforced that law. I believe that that's what happened here. I believe that in order for them to go through that effort to call them on that and do the research to find some weird technicality to catch them on that is completely inconsequential. Like, I could understand if it was causing a hazard or causing some type of disruption or anything, but it's not. They literally just went out of their way, in my opinion, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, to target a business. because they knew they could. They knew they could, and there was zero disregard. And that's the thing that bugs me about the city. I was going to get into later because it's been like a thing that a lot of people have been talking about recently. It actually was made national news this past week. Did you see that?
No, what happened?
I'll get into it. But just to wrap this segment of it, I guess it makes sense to get into it now. The other week, a bunch of bar owners in Fells Point, like 30 of them, all signed a pact that they're going to refuse to pay their property taxes and any fines that they've incurred over the past year until Baltimore City meets a certain list of demands in terms of police protection, picking up trash, enforcing traffic laws, enforcing like a whole bunch of shit, just a whole bunch of shit. Like for instance, and Eric Mathias at the Horse is kind of been the leader of this. The owner of the Horse you came in on. And the reason I said that he was actually just on Fox News this past week. He did an interview. I forgot which show it was, but not like a partisan thing. He said that, MSNBC, CNN didn't reach out to me. Fox News did, and I want to get our story out there. So whatever. But like Fells Point there's been shootings right in the middle of Broadway Square.
Oh shit.
Like right in the middle of everything. Like right there. Where like the pretzel stand is and like people chilling, taking pictures and like chop tanks right here, riptides right here, like right in the middle of it.
Damn,
2
dude,
weekends in a
you're allowed
row.
to do that, but you can't play music.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Exactly. 2 weekends in a row. Not just one mass shooting. 8 people. It was a triple shooting 2 Saturdays ago, right in the middle of Broadway Square, right around last call. Everybody's still leaving bars.
Damn.
And then this past weekend, there was another shooting. I forgot how many people were shot.
Jeez.
But like people laying out, bleeding on the sidewalks. And they have, just guys walking down the sidewalk with coolers full of booze, just selling them illegally, just to whoever.
Shit.
They have
Now I know why the bar owners are pissed.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, for real though. I mean, really, multiple times a week they have this. I don't know what the event is, but it's been going on for quite some time. And they set up these right at that pier next to like Bar Cosina and Admiral's Cup, that pier that comes out. It's kind of, and then on the other side is Sagamore Pendry. Yeah. So it's a public pier. They set up these 2 speakers, like my size speakers, like big speakers. They're blown out completely. They sound like shit because they just blast music as loud as fuck. And they'll do it like, and it's some type of like event. I don't know what it is, but it's just like a house party event. So they just blare trap music, and it's like, it'll be like, last time I was there and I saw it was like 6 p.m. on a Thursday. So like people are sitting on the patio at Bar Cosina trying to have a nice dinner on the water, and there's just music just fucking blasting. Okay.
I mean, but is that like a sanctioned event
No.
or whatever? Oh, okay.
No.
Wow.
So it's completely unsanctioned. Yet they fined the Horse because they said the acoustic guy who plays inside, the guy playing inside, was too loud.
Yeah.
So if you're a tax-paying,
Was it you?
No, it wasn't me. I haven't played at the
Okay.
Horse since pre-COVID. Actually,
Damn.
I hope
Well,
to
at
come
least
back.
it
soon.
wasn't you.
Yeah, it wasn't me. That would make me responsible for 2 major events. So I don't know who it was, but apparently, like enforcer person, whatever they would be, a cop or a code enforcer, or whatever, comes in to the Horse and is like, "It's too loud." And then they like, they don't use like a decibel reader or like what you're supposed to use to actually gauge if it violates, because they have like actual set parameters to gauge this. Like if it's this amount of decibels at this point in the street, it's too loud. They don't do that. They just use intuition. They just come in and say, "Oh, it's too loud." An indoor an indoor venue that is known for having live music all day, every day. Like this is what you sign up for
what
when you go to the Horse. Too loud.
Also, it's like, what, are you hungover? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah. Yet walk one more block, completely unsanctioned event on a public pier, blasting music next to 4 businesses. Nobody says dick. Nobody says anything.
It does kind of sound fun.
I was there. I remember it was happening like, I think it was right after did you go right after Dan's like kind of like pre-wedding, like where he had it at his in-laws house? We went down to Fells afterwards. And I think you might have dipped a little bit earlier than I did, because I think I wound up taking an Uber home with Alex. But like when we left Sagamore, I think we were in Sagamore for a little bit. I don't remember. No, we went to Barco towards the end. That was the last place we were in. And we left Barco and they were having that event. And so like Alex and I were just standing there just fucking like doing shit. I think I even have like a Instagram story where I like they were just bumping Tupac, about to set the record straight, and I like made a snap Instagram story. I was like, I'm about to set the record straight. I don't even remember doing it. I was like, I guess I was setting the record straight that night.
You had to set it straight.
I had to set it straight. So it can be fun. Also, if it's at 2 a.m. last call, everybody's fucking wasted. It's that kind of vibe. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Regardless, whatever. But during dinner time, right next to a business, people are sitting on the patio and they can't even hear themselves talk because some random dudes decide they're gonna fucking just bump music on the fucking pier. Yet, and nobody says anything, but yet if an actual business decides to have live music inside their establishment, they're getting hit with fines. They hit a fucking, I think he also wrote about how one of his line cooks, like after last call, like 3 a.m., nobody's in the fucking store. He's mopping up the floors. They came in and fined him because he wasn't wearing a mask.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And so that's the shit. That's the shit that they're talking about where like they feel, and I've seen some people, most people, what's interesting is I feel like most people on any side of the political spectrum.
Do you think it's just because like the city still has just like strict COVID shit going on? Which I think is up July 1st, right?
I believe so, but I don't see what the COVID shit has to do with.
No, I get that, but I just mean like, I don't know. Are they just like getting these out while they still can?
Sure, they may be doing that, but at the same time, it's amazing to me the amount of resources that they devote towards cracking tax-paying liquor license holding establishments who are already doing everything they can to fucking survive over this past year. I mean, it's been a terrible year for probably no one more than the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's their entire fucking business you took away for a year.
Especially a place where they're not really like known for their food or anything.
Exactly.
It's just like kind of the bar vibe.
Yeah. Nobody's like, oh, let's get carry out from the horse. It's like, yeah, it's good if I'm sitting there drinking and talking to people, but like, I'm not going to fucking get Uber Eats, DoorDash, you know? I'm not saying the food's not good, but it's just like, there's places that do that already. You know,
or there's like a place closer to me that does the same thing.
And the only reason anybody would be doing it is just because out of charity, really. I mean, just to support them through the time, you know. But what bugs me is like the amount of resources that have been dedicated towards cracking these legitimate businesses with these ridiculous, like inconsequential infractions. Like your line cook was alone in a store mopping, not wearing a mask. That's a couple $100 fine. You know, your acoustic music was too loud. That's another fine. Yet, they don't say anything to the people walking down the streets selling booze out of their coolers. Nobody says shit to them. They do it all selling booze and whatever else, you know, got what you need type shit. And then they don't say anything to the people bumping music out in the middle of the fucking street. So it's like, I have no issue with a city who wants to rigorously enforce their laws. In fact, that would be ideal. That would be ideal if we had laws and they were all enforced. That would be a dream world for Baltimore City. But instead what happens is it becomes this situation where they know they can't get any money out of popping the fucking booze cooler guy. They know they can't get any money out of popping the guys setting up the speakers and bumping music on the pier. But they know if they walk into a legitimate business, they can get money out of them. And that's when it becomes a shakedown to me. That's when it becomes this kind of thing where they are targeting, where if you are dumb enough to actually follow the rules and try to be a functioning part of society, you get penalized for it. Kind of like, I mean, you can see how their entire business model is. I mean, why are there 6 speed traps in Roland Park alone? Red light cameras everywhere. And then you go to other parts of the city, they're not for miles in sight. Because they know where they can pop people that either have money or anything like that. And that's what it seems to me that they're doing. And also, Alex Smith, the owner of Atlas Restaurants, because Chop Tank is in Fells, which is an Atlas restaurant, he signed onto that pact as well. And then coincidentally, a week later, they pop him for some shit at Watershed, which is also an Atlas restaurant, for some technicality.
You think it's some politics shit like that?
Absolutely. I mean, Atlas is the biggest restaurant developer in the city, I would say.
Yeah.
Probably, if not one of the biggest companies besides McCormick and Under Armour. I would say Atlas is maybe top 5 at least, if not number 3.
Yeah.
Maybe Hopkins. Yeah, I don't know, fucking know.
Definitely hot.
But there's like several. I mean, they're one of the big ones, you know. And the fact that they signed on to that pact along with all these other businesses, they took note of that. And then they were supposed to have some town hall, and of course they have to do it by Zoom just because they can. At this point, all the fucking politicians are vaccinated, all the fucking, but let's just do it because we can. And then Brandon Scott doesn't even fucking show up. So he schedules this town hall, and then all the fucking bar owners are waiting in a fucking Zoom conference, never even shows. And that to me is like it's like, and I understand, like I said, there's most people that I've seen have been pretty on board with this. Even people that I wouldn't have expected to be like, because I always feel like there's just people that just, no matter how bad shit gets, no matter what happens, they're always going to take this tact of like, Baltimore gets a bad rap, you're just overreacting, get over it. Like, kind of like the way people are about like squeegee kids. Like, oh, people from the county just don't know how to react when somebody comes. It's okay, I get it. But it seems like in this situation where like you're having mass shootings, I mean, you could call them mass shootings, right?
Yeah.
If multiple people are shot in a fucking, they're not senseless, like they're targeted, but also a lot of people, when you're just blasting bullets into a crowd to hit somebody, other people get hit.
Yeah.
So for all intents and purposes, we've had mass shootings the past 2 weeks in the middle of fucking Broadway during peak hours in Fells Point. And the bar owners are sitting there going, we're paying all these property taxes twice as much as any other fucking jurisdiction in the state. I mean, property taxes twice as much in the city than it is in the county. And they're paying based off of property values assessed in Fells Point Commercial District, which is super high because the theory is that, well, the real estate is so valuable here because of all the money you can make here.
Yeah.
But you can only make a lot of money here, assuming that we have been allowed to have customers for the past year. And then once we are allowed to have customers, that people actually feel safe to come here. Because now it seems like the city is doing everything in their power to not enforce the shit that actually matters, which means less and less people are trafficking in those bars, which means that they're paying taxes, exorbitant amounts of taxes, that aren't justified by anything.
Yeah.
And the little amount that they are paying is going towards, basically shit. The police just kind of taking this kind of like, well, we'll stand off. We'll pop you if your solo acoustic guy gets too loud, but, if somebody wants to fucking do this over there, we're not going to say shit. Because we know we can't get any money. It's not worth our time to try to shake down some guy with no money. It's worth our time to shake you down. And that's what pisses me off. Because in the meantime, they pop Watershed for some bullshit like that. Takes away thousands of dollars a month from multiple different musicians. They have no regard for that.
Yeah.
Did that even cross their fucking mind? You have to wonder. Did they even think about the fact that that's actually people's jobs, that in an effort, most likely a political move, that you got them on something. Now these people, the boarding of housing and community develop. What fucking aspects of the community did you develop by fucking doing something like that? What is your purpose as an organization? To go in and enforce technicalities because you don't have the resources to enforce shit that actually matters. So instead you're just going to fucking focus all your resources on this stupid bullshit that makes shit worse for everybody. So I mean, and
damn, yeah, I didn't know any of this shit was going on.
it's a big thing. Like I said,
fucking crazy.
It was covered. I had like a little conversation with the owner of the horse, like just about booking. He asked me if I was free for something, and I wasn't. And then we just kind of like texted back and forth a little bit. And we kind of talked about like the state of affairs down there. And so I got a vibe. Like I wasn't expecting the extent of the conversation we had. Like it was just a very like probably the most I've ever texted back and forth with him ever. And it kind of came out of nowhere, And it was, so I could tell that he was like, and it was a great conversation. We had a great talk. But I could just kind of sense that like, he definitely feels strongly about this shit right now. Mm-hmm. And then I go down, I played at Ampersy, and like a week after the gig, I stopped in the horse, and I was talking to my friend Mark, who bartends there. And he was just had story after story. He was like, yeah, I got jumped the other night. This happened.
Jeez.
Blah, 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 blah. And like the vibe in Fells was weird because it's on the tip of everyone's tongue. Like everybody you talk to down there, it's kind of like when COVID first started, and it wasn't so normalized yet that like somebody would just say like COVID and somebody would be like, oh, like when it first started, like before we were all supposed to wear masks and shit, like when it wasn't part of our everyday lives, it was just like a hot topic. Mm-hmm. And so you talk about it and then somebody else would be like, oh yeah, I know what you're saying. kind of like that down there right now, where like every now and then a bartender or somebody or a patron will just say something and then somebody will be like, dude, exactly. And they'll just go off. It's like on the tip of everybody's tongue. And so I noticed that vibe. And then I saw Baltimore Humor, of all people, posted an article that was in maybe the Baltimore Sun or something. I don't know exactly what it was. Probably not the Baltimore Sun, actually. That was a screen print of that letter that I was talking about, where they wrote a letter to the city council. And then 2 days later, I saw Eric Mathias of the Horse was on local news. I was like, oh, cool. And then like a week later, I saw a picture of him on Fox News. I was like, oh shit, this is a national news story now, where they're talking about these Fells Point bar owners who are refusing to pay their taxes and stuff. And the flip side of this story to me is I saw our good comedian friend, I guess Ian Saliers, who I love Ian, but I can always count on him to have the exact opposite opinion of whatever I have. It's just like, it's like clockwork, dude. And I'm not saying I'm always right and he's always wrong. I'm just saying, like, I just knew when this became a hot button issue, he was going to say something and I was going to read it and just like break my fingers off, So like he posts something about it and like, I didn't bother saying anything, but like,
what was the gist of what he said?
I mean, a lot of it, there's basis for what he's saying. I understand the sentiment, what he was saying. And it was basically along the lines of like, what makes these bar owners in Fells Point think that they deserve special treatment. Like, look at the state of affairs in the rest of the city. Why do you think you deserve all this? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, I get that. I can see that. But isn't it kind of a shitty position to take that, well, the rest of Baltimore City sucks. The rest of Baltimore City is dangerous. So
everyone else is just sitting there and taking it?
Yeah.
Why don't you get in line?
Yeah, exactly. If anything, this is the only way that you can really enact change in the city. I believe that, because there's no such thing as voting people out in the city. It's a single party monopoly. There is it's not a Democrat or Republican thing. It's just is a thing that when you have one group of people that is in constant, unchallenged rule over everything for 50 straight years, there's no incentive for them to ever do anything effective, because they know there's not going to get voted out regardless.
Yeah.
They don't have to earn your vote in the city. They just have to show up and put whoever the fuck when you're like, the best way I could put it is like, when you're running in the Democratic Party in the city, the Republican Party is a joke. I mean, it's literally like 90% Democrat down there. The Republican Party, they don't even bother airing the debates. They don't even bring them on radio shows. They don't even talk to them. It's sad almost. It's just, it's pathetic. It really is pathetic. So basically, whoever wins the Democratic primary wins the position. And so the party backs these certain people. And it's almost like, to me, I've always observed it as like, they're just kind of auditioning for the part of mayor. It's like getting a promotion at your job.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I worked at this bar and now I'm promoted to manager. It's like, I don't see, like, if the only way you can get any political power in Baltimore City is by playing along with the party line, because that's the only way you can win ever, then anybody who gets to that high of a rank has been playing into that for how many years beforehand, that what makes you think they're going to do anything differently when they get to the top?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a ridiculous thought. So I don't even look at Brandon Scott and be like, oh, he's doing this. This shit's been going on for decades. And he's just the next guy who's sitting there with the position of mayor, who's the guy that's giving us this, you know what I mean?
But it's not even all just him, too. It's like the city council. It's like, there's like fucking probably like, I don't even know how many people are in there, but let's say about 75% of like the city council has been in there for like 30 plus years.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, why? Like, why do you guys keep winning still?
Exactly.
You haven't done shit.
Because they're unchallenged. And so, in my opinion, the only way that you could ever enact change to get something you want is by doing something like they're doing. Like, hey, how much of this tax revenue for the city comes from Fells Point and people coming here, whether you like it or not? How much of the tax revenue in the city comes from people coming to Fells Point, the property taxes we pay, the alcohol taxes, the amount of tourism we get, all these people funneling through every weekend, every day, and then you expect, and then you put us in a position where we owe you all this tax money, but you're not even providing us with basic fucking services, which drives down the value of our business. We still have to pay you just as much, even though we're making less money. And then if I was somebody who was taking on, I guess I'll say Ian's position, because again, I think there is basis there, but I would be looking at it from the angle of being like, why doesn't every fucking neighborhood do this. Like instead of other parts of the city looking at Fells Point and going, what makes them so special that they think that they deserve special? First of all, it's not special treatment to get basic police protection, basic trash pickup, basic enforcement of laws. That's not special treatment. And the fact that you live in a city where you've been Stockholm syndromed into thinking that having a police force and elected officials that actually provide you with a safe place to exist and run a business and raise a family is special treatment just shows how far gone you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't these other businesses in these other neighborhoods, and I've only heard really one dissenting opinion or two that like stuck out to me, because again, I feel like most people are pretty much on board with this. But for anybody who's not, I just asked the question, wouldn't it be a good thing if we constantly talk about underserved communities, underserved demographics, entire sections of the city that don't get basic fucking services, and they don't have the power, they don't have the leverage that Fells Point business owners have because they're not a viable part of the tax base. You go to parts of West Baltimore, if they decide they're not paying their taxes, it's like, we don't, what? Were we expecting any? Like, your house is valued at $15,000, bro. We're going to collect fucking $300 from you and you think you're going to fucking hold on to that so we can provide you with basic services? Go fuck yourself. It's like you have a section of the community that actually has the leverage and the position to do something. And I feel like this is something that everyone in the city should get on board with. I can't see a reason why not. We all acknowledge that shit is fucked up down there. We all acknowledge that it's getting worse, and it's been getting worse. And now a group of people has finally made a decision to say, hey, you know what? This doesn't have to be the way it is. We don't just have to sit back and take this shit and just see shit getting worse and just trudge through it. And that typical Baltimore mentality, like, oh yeah, you know, it's charming. Trust me, it's like, no, dude, we deserve better than that, dude. It's a fucking awesome city. And I don't know, dude. I'm so glad that this is happening, and the best thing about it is that it seems again like everyone I've talked to is in agreement. It seems like a very unifying thing, you know.
Yeah. Can't believe all this started from you stealing that speaker from Watershed.
Sometimes, you know, it's like a butterfly breaks its wing, dude. I mean, it's like that's just how shit goes, dude.
Like, anything else happen with you?
Minor story. I was kind of going to get to this on the Ivan podcast, but I was playing at Ampersy in Fells Point, and my friend Sean, you know Sean, I haven't seen him in a while. He travels through the whole winter and just kind of like, you know, because he can't do shit during the winter because he gets on roofs and does insurance shit. So
yeah, and there's no hurricanes in the winter.
Yeah, and so he's back now. And his wife was out of town. I think his wife was back in England because she's from there, visiting family for the week or something. And so he hits me up. He's like, yo, you playing anywhere this weekend? And I was like, yeah, I'm at Ampersy on Friday, blah, blah, blah. And so he comes through alone, like halfway through my gig.
Alone like a bone.
Alone like a bone. And he's sitting at the bar just making small talk with whoever's next to him in classic Sean fashion. And like in also classic Sean fashion, he just gets like drunk so quick, and it's just like the thing. I love Sean. I mean, he's one of my best friends. But he just when he drinks, he just is one of those like obnoxious drunks. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, Sean, shut up, come on, dude, calm down, Jesus Christ. He's not violent, but he just like says such like blasphemous stuff. I don't know how else to put it. It's just like obscene types of like stuff that you don't want to be the guy standing next to him in public.
Exactly.
Even when he's that drunk and you're in private, like I've sat with him, like actually later on that night, what I'll get to, like we wound up just kind of, I dragged him away from the situation. We sat alone and had a great conversation for like 2 hours, got a couple of beers at Cooper's, just sat at a high top outside, lovely night, talked for a couple hours. Lovely night. And like totally fine, but like you can't have him in public when he gets that way. You know, it's just, God love him. Bless his heart, but you just can't do it. So he's fucking getting plastered at the bar at Ampersy. I finish up my set, and, you know, I can already tell immediately just by looking at him from across the fucking dock that he's gone, you know? And so I walk up to him. I'm thinking everything in my mind. I'm like, okay, dude, all I got to do is get my check and get the fuck out of here and go to a bar that I don't work at.
Yeah.
So I can't go to the Horse. I can't go to Riptide. I can't go to. Well, I could probably go to Riptide. That's like standard conduct at Riptide. But can't go to the fucking Chop Tank or the Tavern or any of those places. So I was like, let me just go to. So that's all I'm thinking. Now, happenstance, Lord Leisure happened to also come down to see me play with his girlfriend and a couple of their friends. So they're sitting at a 5 top in the corner. So now I'm caught in a rock and a hard place. I'm like, okay. Yeah. My one friend, Sean, came down to see me, and it'd be great if it was just him because we could just fucking dip. But now my other friend also came down to see me, so it's like I don't want to just fucking ditch him and be like, oh, yeah, thanks for coming down.
But also, my other friend shouldn't be around people right now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And Zach would understand that. He did understand that. But I just felt, it just put me in a weird situation where I was like, fuck, man. So, you know, we walk over to Zach's table, and we're talking, and Sean's just saying like one thing after the other that's just like, I'm like, Sean, there's fucking girls here, dude, or like blah blah blah, just keep it down. God damn it.
You're married, for Christ's sake.
And so I'm like thinking of reasons why we need to like leave the table every 10 minutes. I'm like, yo, Sean, let's go smoke a cigarette. I smoked like 18 cigarettes in 1 hour just to get away from public, you know? So I'm like, oh, let's go, blah blah blah. And so now the owner of Ampersy,
trying to sober him up.
Yeah. Like, smoke another one, dude. You need to cool off.
Just stop drinking for 5 minutes.
So the owner of Ampersy, awesome guy, love him. He takes a liking to Lord Leisure, which makes perfect sense. They're both the same type of dude, like just good time, cool dudes. And so he comes over with a bottle of fucking like Don Julio for the table. And just fucking gives the table. He likes his new friends. He's like, fuck yeah, man. Good to meet you. Thanks for coming out and see Jimmy, blah, blah, blah. Gives him, now he's sitting at the table. The owner, the guy who pays me and books me, is sitting at the table.
Signing your check.
As he's signing my check, he introduces us to a couple of his friends from out of town. Mm-hmm. Friends walk up. Now, the woman happened to be, I would say, slightly on the heavier side, I would say. And we happened to be talking about their when we first met them. I mean, this was immediately after meeting them. Sean sitting at the table, fucking saying obnoxious shit about his hair and talking about random shit. And we were like, what are your names? And they're like, I'm this. She's like, I'm that. And blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, what's your I don't know why, but their last names came up. And then she said her last name, and then Sean goes, because they were talking about guys like having kids or whatever. Sean goes, oh, so what's the baby's name gonna be? This woman's not pregnant. Oh. Literally the worst. That's the first thing you learn in etiquette school. Never assume a woman is pregnant. Let them tell you. I mean, first, and also, I didn't even think about this, but she was doing shots with us. Like, and I'll admit, like, I am not an observant person, and as much as I like look and like break things down and stuff, those little things I miss. Like, I never notice if a girl's wearing a wedding ring. I just don't.
I'd never say that to someone I'm just meeting.
Yeah, exactly. So he goes, "What is the baby's name gonna be?" And everyone goes silent. And then the boyfriend goes, she's not pregnant, bro. And then I come in like fucking Green Lantern with perhaps one of the better saves of all time. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for this. Mm-hmm. I said, oh no, he wasn't saying she's pregnant. He was just asking, when you guys do have a baby, are you going to hyphenate your names? Because we had just been talking about their last names. Mm-hmm. And then he goes, oh no, it's going to be this. And I think they bought it.
Hell yeah,
I think they bought it.
Quick fucking thinking.
It was like, I mean,
I thought you were gonna veer off and be like, oh no, he was talking to our other friends who are pregnant.
Yeah, he thought you were them. He thought these people we just met.
He was asking them a question to you.
You want to know what their baby's name is gonna be? Thought you might know.
I thought you guys talked about that already. Oh, I was here the whole time? Completely forgot.
What? Jesus. This Don Julio, right? He'll get ya. So I think
Damn,
the save...
a save of a lifetime.
Honestly,
holy shit.
Unreal. And I was like, Sean, let's go smoke a cigarette. So we get up from the table and we just fucking leave.
That was probably
I was
best
like,
move.
I mean, that was like as far as it could possibly go. I couldn't even believe I might have saved
Holy
that, but
shit.
probably not. I mean, it might have. So we veer off. I text Zach and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I can't come back. Like, I know you guys are chilling there. Like, he was kind of planning on bopping around with us.
Yeah.
But like, you know, once he's sitting down with the owner, he gets him a whole bottle of tequila. It's like, well, we're chilling here for a bit. And it's like,
Yeah,
well,
for
I
sure.
can't
Yeah.
chill here for a bit. Obviously, neither can Sean.
Yeah.
So
I can chill here, but I have to get him away.
Yeah, I need him.
So I gotta go with him.
And I'm his ride home to fucking Bowley's quarters. And so Sean and I dip, and I text Zach the whole thing. He's like, dude, I totally get it. Yeah, Sean was like, he's a cool guy, but he was just being too much for that situation. I was like, yeah. And also, like, even if they were to come at, like, Sean wasn't really in a position to, like, go out, you know? I wasn't about to be like, because I was going to be like, yo, let's go to the horse. And I was like, and now I'm going to fucking have a situation like that happen at the horse. It's like, no.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Sean, let's go fucking to Cooper's. I haven't played there in 2 years, whatever. Fucking.
Fuck Cooper's.
Yeah. We sit down, grab a couple beers, and like, again, great night. Great guy, no matter how drunk he is, to sit and talk to person, you know?
For sure.
But just not the place for him in that situation for public. So anyway, I thought that completely went under the nose of the owner. Come to find out, Zach, and I talked to Zach about it, and we went to, Zach hits me up. He's like, yo, you want to go to the gym? Because he lives out in Sykesville now. So that Tuesday after, he's like, yo, I'm in Towson right now. You want to hit the gym real quick? And I'm like, sure. He gets to Towson. He's like, yo, fuck the gym. You want us to go to Tiki Lee's? I'm like, yeah, sure. So we go to Tiki Lee's for the day. And I tried to turn it into a business trip. I got to contact him for the guy that books. And it actually did kind of pan out. I've talked to him and stuff.
Deaf,
Deaf, bro.
Trying that one out. This
I like
episode.
that, dude. I like that. I should have just let it go, but it was too cool.
It's too cool. You had to stop.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Wait, hold on.
Oh. So while we're sitting at Tiki Lee's, we're talking about the incident over the weekend, and he's like, oh, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to text the owner of Ampersea and just like confirm a couple dates and just make sure everything's cool. You know, so I text him. I'm like, yo, by the way, sorry I had to dip early. I would have chilled with you guys. My friend Sean was just being out of pocket, so I had to leave. But, you know, obviously it would have been awesome to chill with you guys. No response.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I fucked up one of the dates in there. So the next morning, I texted him again after no response. And I was like, oh, by the way, scratch this date, make it this date. That was my bad. No response again. Didn't hear from him for like a week.
Does he usually book you, or
he's the booker guy? He's the booker guy. He's not the best text responder, so it didn't really raise too much of an alarm because I was like, he normally just kind of reads them and doesn't say shit anyway. But like 2 in a row, normally he'll say something, you know, especially if it's to confirm a date.
Yeah,
where it's
and
like
a correction.
Yeah, I need to hear that. Like, am I playing here? So by happenstance, Mike Manos, you can always count on Mike Manos for needing a gig covered. So I love him for that. He goes, yo, can you fill in for me at Ampersand on Sunday, 12 to 3? I'm like, sure. So that next weekend, I go down and I play the gig, run into the owner on my way out, leaving. I see him walking in. I'm like, oh, by the way, sorry to bother you with the text last week. I just, you know, blah, blah, blah. I just want to confirm this date. And I could tell that his vibe was a little off. You know, like he's usually like, yo, what's up? He wasn't like mean, but he was just kind of like he heard me and just kept walking. And then I was like, blah, blah, talking to him. And he was like, oh man, you know, I've just been so busy. Like, really? And I was like, do you book anyone else on Fridays? Like, cause that's why I keep confirming dates. Cause I figure you might want to book other people. He's like, honestly, it's such a pain in the ass to book people on Fridays. And I was like, yeah, cause I guess I was getting the vibe that like, basically if I show up to play, it's my gig. And if I don't, it doesn't matter. So basically I have like whatever Friday I want to play at Ampersea, I just show up and play, which is fucking sweet, which is why I don't want to lose that gig. It's the best possible arrangement. It's like, if I show up, it's cool. If I don't show up, it's cool, whatever. And so I thought everything was fine. Zach calls me up the next day. He goes, oh, dude, happened to go into Ampersea again over the weekend, talk to Kyle, the owner. And I was like, yo, when's Jimmy playing here again? And he was like, I don't know, man. Like, that whole situation with his friend, like, really kind of, you know, really offended my friends that I just brought into town and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude.
Damn.
Like, he must have caught that save.
Yeah.
I don't know if his friends didn't catch it I really think we covered it up. And I think from the boyfriend's perspective, the smartest thing, even if he didn't believe the save, the best move is to play along because you don't want to hurt your girlfriend's feelings, obviously.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be like, no, you accept my girlfriend's fast. Like if you can avoid that, just fucking run with it.
Yeah.
So that could have been it. I gave him an out, basically. I gave him a smooth transition to at least pretend like that's what we meant, you know? So perhaps the owner overheard that and saw right through that. But I think because Sean had been like being obnoxious to so many different customers and he saw him associated with, I think that the owner thought that I was pissing people off too. I think that when I apologized to him and I was like, we had to leave because I didn't want to ruin my gig, he thought I was saying, dude, I was so fucked up also that I didn't want to compromise anything. And so he was left on the impression that it wasn't just Sean who was pissing people off, it was me being fucked up too.
Oh, damn.
And that stuck with me because I was like, dude, all right, it's 2 weeks after the fact. And I want to say, like, dude, I am so sorry to hear that that was your interpretation of the situation, but like, it's really important to me that you know that that's not what was going on. You know, like I was the most on edge I've been in a while, just trying to make sure nothing got out of hand. And that's why I got him out of there when I saw there was no getting around it after a certain point. And Zach explained the whole situation to him. He was like, oh, no, that wasn't Jimmy. Like, that was his friend Sean, blah, blah, blah. And so that's cool. And I didn't want to bug the guy, so I haven't talked. I figured I'll see him next time I play there.
Let cool heads prevail, you know.
I'm playing there tomorrow.
Okay,
and
perfect.
I figured, you know, I figure when I play there tomorrow, I'll bring it up. I think it's worth bringing up just because, like, my friend Zach said something, but, like, I wanted to hear it straight from the horse's teeth, dude. I want to go in there and be like, hey, dude, just want to make sure we're clear. Like, I love playing here. I would never be like that. I've never been like that at a gig. And, like, just like what I said to you. So I just want to make sure everything's, you know, no water on, or it is water under the bridge, whatever the fuck the saying is, you know?
Yeah.
But that was kind of what we were talking. That's what I was alluding to last week when we were talking about like when you feel like somebody's mad at you, but you can't tell. That's what I was going to get into. But like that was just a situation where it's like life shit like that, where it's like, I can't control that. I can't control that. It's like, and then you weigh the options. It's like, well, Sean is a really good friend of yours. And like, think of all the things he's done for you. Train me for insurance. It's like, I can't be mad at him, you know, because the good outweighs the bad so much. I've taken great international trips with him and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, he fucked up that night, and I can't be resentful of that. It's like, you know, you get what it's the package. It's the Sean Page package, you know? So like, but I just felt like such a sense of urgency to like just clear up this situation. Because again, that's like my best gig that I have in terms of like whatever the word is, leniency and fucking pay, and just like, you know, if I play like 15 minutes over, they pay me for it. Wow. They like do the math. They're like, oh, you played an extra 3 songs. There's an extra this. It's like awesome. That's so cool. Sick. So it's like, this is a relationship I do not want to fuck up. And the fact that he was still willing to book me after thinking that I was doing that is a good sign. Yeah. You know, the fact that he was like, well, Jimmy's a fucking asshole, but that man can play.
I mean, it's also good that like, even though like one person that you brought maybe left a bad taste, you also had Zach there too.
Yeah, who left
and
a
now
great
they're
taste.
Boys.
They're boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, half of Jimmy's friends are awesome, half of Jimmy's friends are belligerent. Jimmy's just somewhere in between awesome and belligerent. So, I mean, that was the only real big story I had. Other than that, anything else going on with you?
Damn, that's fucking crazy. No, not much. Just been working at the office and chilling. Alex was out of town, so like Eddie was staying at our parents' house.
Oh,
so
cool.
I wanted to go chill there a little bit, hang out with the dogs. Yeah, really not fucking much, dude. My whole drama was the fucking brunch.
Brunch, baby. What are you gonna do? Sam Perrott texted me today. Said, "Yo, I'm listening to the Shake Shack episode at work, and that's the one where he talked about like the STD test and like the inauguration, and then like the fucking gym Shake Shack I wanted to open."
Yeah.
And he was like, "My boss literally told me I can't listen to it anymore because I'm distracting the office from laughing." And I was like, "That's awesome. That is awesome." So shouts out to Sam Perrott, dude.
Hell yeah.
studio originator.
Yeah, OG sophomore.
Perrot Construction. Where do you think that's from?
Take a
Sam
guess.
built that fucking window.
Take a wild guess.
Yeah. He built that fucking window, dude. I was like, all right.
It's a great window.
It is a good window. Amazingly, probably the best thing that was built here, because like everything else is kind of like the ceiling. You can see the fucking seams and everything, but like that window, 5 years strong, not a fucking ounce of fog. I mean, whatever he did to seal that up and keep it waterproof is just, it was effective.
Yeah.
So shouts out Sam Perrot. And
It's been cleaned once
it's been clean once.
this year. For the first time. Holy shit.
Yeah, but we can wrap up.
And if you're a listener and you got a fucking story like that, leave a review. Leave a fucking 5-star review.
Yeah. Also, I would say this just as a public PSA here, because Eric and I obviously both appreciate people listening. If you like a post that is made, or like if you like an episode or something, a lot of people like to DM the podcast. Like we'll get a lot of DMs being like, "Yo, that episode was funny," or like blah blah blah. But like, I totally appreciate it, but it would be really cool if you guys could comment that publicly, just so people know that the episode's good. You know, like because all of our posts wind up being a bunch of people talking shit, and then all the compliments come in private messaging. So it's like, it's awesome to know that you're listening, but it would be awesome if other people knew that you thought it was awesome, because then they might think it's awesome too. So that'd be awesome. Just in general, awesome.
At LFTS Podcast on everything. At Eric Glazer. At Jimmy Selesky. At Sophomore MD. That's the band.
That's
Follow
the band,
them
baby.
on Instagram.
Check us out on Spotify. Check us out on YouTube. Till next week.
Peace.
$1 million renovations to a happy home. My ex said she gave me the best years of her life. I saw a recent picture of her. I guess she was right.